I call to order the March 21st, 2024 Planning Commission meeting. Please join me in the flag pledge. Right. Ms. Morrow, will you please call a roll of members?
Luza.
Here.
Lilihat.
Here.
Marovich. Zimmer. Here. Ike.
Here.
Swenson.
Here.
Right. Agenda item number 3, approval of the March 7th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting minutes. Fellow commissioners, any changes? All right, then the minutes will stand as they are. And agenda item number 4, Ms. Goodroad, any announcements?
Thank you, Chair and members of the Commission. Our next Planning Commission meeting is scheduled for April 4th, and we do have one public hearing item for that meeting. And then we sent an email out earlier this week. That joint meeting with the City Council, the Economic Development Commission, the Planning Commission has been postponed. We'll keep you up to date on when that is rescheduled. And that's it.
All right, thank you. All right, our next agenda item is a public hearing. So anyone wishing to speak on this specific agenda item, please make sure that you sign up on that book in the back of the room. So agenda item number 5, public hearing for Northland Collision CUP amendment. And then Ms. Jensen will present. I don't have the name of you, I'm so sorry. Okay, if you'd like to come up and give like a brief overview.
You want me to just tell you what we're doing? Yeah, we're looking at adding about 3,800 square foot addition onto Northland Collision. They're just short on space for parts. It's almost all parts area. And then there's 3 like wash detail bays, and that's about it. So we did the addition back in 2018. They're just running out of space again. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm Ryan Johnson.
Good evening.
This is a conditional use permit amendment for Northland Collision. I am doing this on behalf of Mr. Dempsey, who is, so gracious to take vacation this week. This is the location map for Northland Collision. It is near the intersection of Cedar Avenue and 160th Street, County Road 46. And it's way up here at the top. You can see it is in C3, which is our general commercial district. This is a site plan. The shaded area here is the building addition space. It's just over 1,900 square feet of floor area, and it is a 2-story addition, so just over 3,800 square feet to the building. And this is the floor plan. Again, this is the space here that's being added on to the building. And our exterior elevation, it's this. This is the south elevation. And the east elevation, it is primarily a wainscoting with metal panels that are meant to look like wood. And those do meet the requirements for an existing non-conforming building. Those meet our ordinance requirements. And this is a view of the existing building from County Road 46. And this is the view from the east, and the building addition is generally in this area. This item, there are findings of fact for approval of the CUP, and staff does recommend approval of the amendment subject to the 4 stipulations listed in the staff report, and I'll stand for any questions you may have.
Thank you. And this is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak can come forward at this time.
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the public hearing is now closed. Fellow commissioners. Yes.
Thank you, Chair Marovich. I have a question about, and I'm not sure if it should be our planner or Mr. Johnson. will the existing or the new construction match and paint and all that kind of stuff? I know you talked about the wainscoting and stuff. Is it a continuation so it all looks uniform?
Same right now, but they'd like to update the rest of the building along with this project. It's just old and the paint is coming off and it's just a block building. So with updating this part, they'd like to continue it around and kind of update the rest of it at the same time.
Excellent,
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
thank you.
Thanks.
Any additional comments?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So, see this as a fairly straightforward request to just expand the business. We always appreciate businesses continuing to expand within our community. And from what I understand in the automotive industry, the need for additional space for parts is kind of driven by all sorts of things with supply chain requirements and trying to acquire parts and things trickling in over time and all that. So certainly understandable for a business of this type to need that additional storage. So happy to see the investment in our community and a business continuing to grow.
Mhm. All right, looks like we might be ready for a motion.
Madam Chair?
Yes. Yeah.
I move to recommend approval of the Northland Collision Conditional Use Permit, subject to the 4 stipulations listed in the March 15, 2024 Planning Report.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Ms. Morrow, will you please take a roll call vote?
Kaluza?
Aye.
Liliheit?
Aye.
Marovich?
Aye.
Zimmer? Aye. Ike?
Aye.
Swenson?
Aye.
All right, well, thank you so much, and we look forward to your expansion. All right, and before we adjourn the meeting tonight, since it is Commissioner Lilihai's last meeting, I feel like he has a few words he would like to say.
I do. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing me under staff notices. I appreciate it. First and most importantly, after serving for 17 years as a planning commissioner, I want to thank my wife and family for their support and flexibility of schedule on the first and third Thursday of each month for so many years. I recognize and thank each iteration of City Council, planning staff, and planning commissioners for allowing me to serve, doing it in a way that is civil and amiable. I have had a good fortune that each iteration of this commission has been and continues to be highly effective. This happened because of the professionalism of the planning staff and the expertise of fellow planning commissioners. It's important for me to recognize our planning staff, current Chris Jensen and Frank Dempsey, and our prior planning director, Daryl Morey. They're very instrumental in my education and awareness, and I appreciate the ongoing mentorship that I've had over the many years by former planning commissioner Carl Drotnick. I wanted to be a part of the planning commission process to ensure that the development process of the city was accessible and understandable to all, and continue to support a forum that ensures that they are heard. I believe I have been integral in achieving these objectives. For a quick trip down memory lane, when I first started doing this, there were purple bags delivered by community service officers or police officers to my home. That always was piquing the interest of my neighborhood. I had to explain several times over that I was on the planning commission and just receiving our upcoming information in our packets. You may remember that back then, and for those of us that still have cable TV, it's not me, but you could only watch us on cable television. We moved forward, got rid of those packets, started using laptops and tablets. As we had that opportunity to use laptops and tablets, it was the case that the citizens of Lakeville had that same access to the information. And you'll recall that that was one of the 3 things that was important to me, is that people had access to this information and it became understandable. And then reflecting upon our meetings during the pandemic, this group has always been very flexible and capable of finding success. I remember conducting the meeting in one of our spare bedrooms, shirt, tie, and jacket, and wearing shorts. So not something that we would typically get away with sitting here at the dais, but on those warm evenings, the shorts made sense. For those that are willing to listen, I offer these learnings. The citizens of Lakeville love their trees, particularly the trees that they see. Woodland lots and stands of trees contribute a lot to a good neighborhood. However, it's the people that make a great neighborhood. I continue to believe that the city of Lakeville is sound and doing well, and that as we continue to develop, that it will continue to be the people that make this a great city to raise a family and develop a business. I also want to recognize the creativity of this commission. Many times when we have been working with developers, and I want to recognize when I say we working, it's very rare that we are solving at the dais for things that staff and the developer have solved for previously. But when things do come to this level, we were very fortunate and creative to be able to allow staff the flexibility to, say, place trees on site. That doesn't happen because we are haphazard. It happens because we have trust in the people that we work with. And our staff continued to provide the professionalism that showed us that we were capable of giving them the flexibility to do that on the fly. That creativity also presented itself in this way, where from time to time developers and neighbors or citizens had ideas and wanted to work with the developer in finding a solution. And we would give them time outside of chambers, sometimes during a break, sometimes over a week by tabling an item, but oftentimes friends, neighbors, citizens can get together and find solutions on their own. I really appreciate that the citizens and the city were able to do that without having be the role of government to dictate a solution. To current and future planning commissioners, I share these thoughts. Consider them sage advice. Call staff with questions before the meeting. When at the dais, speak to having that discussion during the agenda item. It shows that this isn't a rubber stamp, that we are fully engaged, that we are fully aware, and that when we're at the dais, this is happening in a highly effective manner. Use work sessions to discuss items to allow for an effective and timely public hearing. I find that when we were at our best, it was because we had already resolved many of the conversations or had conversations during a work session so that we could come to the dais and have a very quick and effective meeting. When possible, be aware and thoughtful that the questions that we have are for the applicant. And ask those questions, if we can, to the applicant first and the city second. The city knows our rules, they know our statutes. It's the applicant's job to comply with them, and if we can, start with them. And lastly, wish the applicant a successful future in our community. And with that, I wish this city a successful future. Thank you for letting me serve.
All right. Well, I know that I will definitely miss you and our banter before meetings. I always really enjoyed that. But I know that we will continue to see you, and I hope you have a great first and third Thursday of every month. The meeting is adjourned.
Cheers. Thank you.
What are you gonna do?